dies.
Jesus. He was like, I was leaving the show, and this is how we went out.
Yeah, dude.
It's awesome.
It was awesome.
Oh, God.
Jesus.
Oh, God.
Oh, God.
Oh, God, failure.
Oh, my.
Whoa. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Skibbity bop bop
I'm excited about
Whoop. Wildly Uninteresting Podcast, episode 131. 131.
Yeah.
131. Welcome
Lewis
back
and
to
Clark
the show.
episode.
We took a break
right.
last weekend for mental health reasons. Ooh, that kind of rhymed.
Oh,
Not really,
shit.
though.
I learned to suck my own dick. That's why I didn't want to show up.
Do you think it's possible to take a rib out and suck your own dick?
Yes.
And if so, would you?
No.
No, I probably wouldn't
I
either.
have a wife for that. Why do I need to get rid of a rib? Come on.
I want to keep my rib.
Very
I don't wanna get rid of
extreme
this.
thing to do to get your dick sucked.
I know. It is wild, but I'm sure somebody's done it, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think that person is Marilyn Manson.
Yeah.
I'm just joking. I'm gonna
that's
put it on.
fucking true.
I'm not
God.
going to put that on it.
You don't know.
Do you remember
Marilyn,
it?
did you take a rib out to suck your own dick? That sounds like a yeah.
Yes.
You remember back in the days when you could like tell a lie and then people couldn't look it up readily? And like you and your
Yeah.
boys, you just tell some lies and then like they couldn't fucking call you out.
Yeah.
But now people can call you out in like 2 seconds, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how I told Sarah the other day. This is what baffles me is I don't know how there's still, back in the day, snake oil salesman, right?
Yeah.
They would just be like, tell you any sort of lie, and then they trick you with manipulation or with a magic trick.
This
sort of
whale
illusion.
fat cures
Yeah.
cancer.
And nobody knew the difference,
No.
But nowadays
Nowadays, they still don't.
Yeah, but how do they? Because I know people still get scammed, right? Like money scams or pay the taxes on this trip, and you can go blah blah blah, and then people still buy into that.
Right.
But like, how are people still getting? If you're getting scammed in the 21st century, you're fucking retarded.
Just people not using the internet to look stuff up. Well, and I mean, look, there's fake news everywhere.
Yeah, even when they do look it up, they suck at research.
Yeah.
So,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
The first thing they see is just like,
If you're not educated and you suck at research, you're fucked.
Yeah.
And
don't
that's fine.
don't buy anything.
Yeah.
Maybe, but
Stick to Walmart, dummy.
Yeah, no fucking shit. That I just don't understand how that that happens.
Well, I was listening
Somebody has to be really good.
Dr. Drew listeners' calls.
Dr. Drew Pinsky, board certified physician.
Yes. And this woman called in. She just wanted to talk to him about it. And she was a 65-year-old woman, and she loved Eminem. And she got on Twitter. She doesn't usually have it. She said she got on Twitter, and then someone was like, if I guess she follows like Marshall Mathers fan club or something. Someone was like, if you want to be in this fan club, you have to give us $300. Clearly, it was a scam. They were just trying to get money out of her.
She did it?
No, she didn't do it at all. But
But her grandson did.
but she asked the question: how do these people get on legitimate sites? Well, you sign up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not difficult, but
No.
that's the point is that not everyone is thinking. They're thinking everything's like nice and innocent, and this is a legitimate site. So how could it possibly have scammers on it? It's got to be safe.
Yeah.
Here, look at 10 minutes of human history and
Yeah.
change your perspective real
I
quick.
know.
Remember, I sent you that thing about they were talking how the internet is at sometimes is like 60%
Hell yeah.
like fake. They're
Yeah.
bots and shit.
It's like more
Yeah.
robots than people.
How crazy is that?
That is crazy. That's cool,
So
though.
wild.
I was on Reddit this morning, and there were a couple bots just like sending gifts back and forth to each other. And someone at the bottom of it said, "Bots talking to bots." It's like, yes, that's exactly what's happening.
Well, they can because of the AI in this situation. That they learn how to speak to one another. They said even the programs that are supposed to like weed out the bots
Yeah.
are now thinking that the human traffic on these websites are bots and the bots are real people.
That's
Because
crazy.
they learn from the way we speak, and there's so much data on the internet to learn from that they're just like, well, this is how
Yeah.
they would say it, so let's say it their way.
There's so many weird human interactions that they're like, this
Yeah.
can't be real.
Oh, maybe
shit.
English isn't their native language.
Yeah.
And then that's how people can justify it.
Yeah. Hell yes.
And who are
That's
we
what I
to, you know how we don't view AI as the same as like a human being. They don't
I
have
do.
sentience.
You do.
Let's just
But-
let that be known.
Don't we view, you know, when you come out of the womb and shit and you're learning from your parents, so you learn from them and the people they're around and how they all interact together and how the world works.
Yeah.
Isn't that what like AI is doing? You birth it into the world and then it has to learn
Yeah.
and it grows. Like why is the same thing as how we do it? Can't down AI.
It's intelligence, but artificial.
Hell
Artificial.
yeah. Hey.
No, simmer down. I want to go back. I want to talk about the, like snake oil crap.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a guy, I forget his name, but it was like it was whenever the Eiffel Tower was first built.
Yeah.
Like people in France hated it. 'Cause they were like, this is
awesome.
stupid. This is an eyesore. Get this fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was a con man, and he was the same guy that he had this machine. Well, he had a box, and he told people that he could turn like dollars into $100
I
bills.
like that it went from machine to box.
Yeah, because I mean it's nothing crazy.
Machine.
But he would sell this money changing machine to people.
yeah.
Oh shit.
But he ended
That's
up
awesome.
he had this con going where he convinced like people of means, like with massive amounts of money,
Yeah.
that he worked for like the government or something, and that since everybody hated the Eiffel Tower, they were selling it for scrap.
Yeah.
And I think twice
Oh,
he
yeah.
sold it to people.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but he
That's
sold it
awesome.
specifically for the purpose of like scrap metal. They're gonna scrap it. I have read that one. Yeah,
That's crazy.
But he had no ownership of it.
Nope.
People
Yeah.
are just idiots.
just selling that shit to people.
you know, I kind of view
God.
the way. Let's go back to Elon Musk, right? And I always hate to bring up this guy, but I've been watching
I
videos.
love Elon Musk.
I know, but I've been watching videos on the latter side of what he's doing. And in reality, he's kind of a snake oil salesman because a lot of his stuff doesn't actually pan out. A lot of it's inflated. A lot of it's just like inflated.
Defend
for
your
the-
statement.
So, okay, like the Vegas loop, the Las Vegas loop that he just built, it came way under what he said that it was going to be able to, the capacity that was going to be able to move from the convention center to the parking lot. That the way they built it it's just big enough for a Tesla car to go through. So if anything happens with the Tesla car, it's just going to burn and everybody in that tunnel. There's no exits. There's no, I think there was one fire extinguisher at the beginning of the thing. So, but there would be no way to run
Who
and go
said
get
this
it.
was an okay thing
Well,
to do.
I think
Because everything goes perfectly all the
convention center.
time.
Take your chances in Vegas.
the convention center is the one that allowed the whole process to happen. So he does this, and that comes under budget. And then there's, a shitload of videos, and then they match with the paperwork for his filings, how many cars they develop every year, and all these things are inflated, or he always says that he's doing these amazing things. In reality, a lot of it's coming under what he said.
In reality, he's doing amazing things, but just at 80% of what he promises.
Yeah.
Okay.
No
You know,
shit.
I was actually also on Dr. Drew. They talk about everything.
Physician.
Yeah. They were talking about, you remember the chick with the blood thing?
Yeah.
There we go. I
She
don't
probably-
remember.
She come up with it was a blood test that you could like get the results in one day or some
Yeah,
shit.
and it was all from one drop of blood rather than like a vial of blood. I mean, it wasn't really anything crazy, but it's
Yeah.
not possible.
Right. Yeah.
And she sold this idea to people and got all this
To all her
money, all this
investors.
funding, and then couldn't deliver because it's not a possible thing to do. And they're just talking about how that's like a thing. That's what people do
Right
to
now.
get funding, and
So-
then they find a way along the way to kind of make what they were saying so
to-
they don't lose funding.
So they
drive
could,
it-
they could bring like a table of 5-year-olds in
Yeah.
and just buy shit from them.
Yes.
So to drive it home a little further, Solar City is another one that you should look into and how he did that. And they said that they were innovating all this technology and they were gonna change the face of solar energy, and they haven't. All they did was they bought up all the solar companies around them, the big competitors, to take them out of business, they were still buying the same panels that every other company was and installing those panels. A lot of the power walls and the panels have burned down houses and left people, with nothing.
Well, is this stuff happening in the majority of cases, or is it like a freak outlier?
I don't think it's like majority, but it's enough to raise a lot of suspicion. And for the fact that now Elon Musk has essentially drained Solar City's money to invest more into SpaceX, and same with like Tesla. So dumping the money from all that stuff.
All right. Well, I feel like we should proceed with the, I guess the kind of, what is that thing?
Caution.
It's kind of like caution, but with the understanding that I'm an Elon Musk fanboy.
I know.
So I'm not going to be the most objective here. But we could look at what happened. He's incorporating all of that technology into one thing, because it seems like he's got a lot of irons and a lot of fires.
Right.
And his whole approach to everything essentially is superior technology across many forms.
Yeah.
We'll say. My brain isn't working.
Yeah.
But
I snapped.
you did.
That was
Well
awesome.
done.
That'll never happen
Well,
again.
I'm a fan,
Thank you.
and I have been a fan of Elon Musk, and I stumbled across these videos and a lot of people that are his like ex-employees, ex-higher up employees, and shit like that have come in, like talked about him in a way that not a lot of people do. A lot of people really like the guy, as fanboy, if you will.
Yeah.
But even like his ex-wife come out and made that video explaining like how it was to be with the guy, and how he had a lot of stuff from his childhood that really spilled over into his adult relationships.
Right.
But I don't know. Like now I'm on the fence about it, and I don't know. Is he really innovative and all that shit, or is he just another
Look at
snake
him.
oil? So.
He's going to give internet to the world for free.
Oh, and about this, look, hold on. You remember when SpaceX's rocket, the Falcon whatever, had Facebook's satellite on top of it, and then out of nowhere the fucking thing blows up?
Right?
Right. So Facebook had that satellite for, I think it was 4 or 5 years, and they were looking for somebody to take it to space, because they didn't have their own means to take it to space. Right. So companies competed. SpaceX got the contract, right? The fucking thing blows up. The whole timelines on the internet is fucking hilarious. The thing blows up, right, on the pad, destroys the pad and the rocket and the satellite, all that shit.
Yeah.
What they said, it was like a week later, like he started shooting the Starlink in. Yeah. So it was like how it was kind of suspicious.
Take out the competition.
Yeah, because
Brilliant.
Facebook had that. Yeah, just blow up the rocket and then we'll shoot ours into space. But the timeline was so like dead on that I was like, that's definitely what it was going on.
Well, I mean, if it is, then cool. But if not, whatever.
What I was gonna say is, I'm just being devil's advocate here, but
With a pitchfork.
would you believe your ex-wife? I mean, imagine if Christina were going around
That's
talking
true.
about you. It would be terrible shit.
Yeah, it'd be rough.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and she said a lot of lies. So
Yeah, she said
I
a lot
can
of
see
horrible
that.
things.
Especially if it ended badly.
Plus, I mean, I'm sure she's
Now-
a mentally stable person.
Right? Well, and look, I'm sure that Elon Musk, I feel like all the bad stuff is true and all the good stuff is true. There's a
Right.
middle ground. He is a turd, but he's also doing wonderful things.
Right. So
I'd
you
say,
gotta
like,
take the bad.
I'd say above all, I mean, he is a workaholic like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know that about the guy.
Yeah.
Right.
I feel like he's for sure a psycho.
Yeah.
Like he has no
Oh,
empathy
yeah.
for other people. Absolutely.
Oh, I
but
think he
he
definitely does.
just does have empathy.
Have empathy, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, just because the one time he was on Joe Rogan and he was talking about like helping out people and just being a good person and all this other
Yeah.
shit. So it's like, even if he doesn't feel it, he understands.
Yeah. Well, and that's I guess he's someone who's using his all that shit, this psychopathy for good. He's not killing people. He's trying to improve the world.
Yeah. Well, plus, I mean, he is autistic. So,
That's what it
He's
is.
definitely on the
Okay.
so
spectrum.
that's definitely a part of it.
Okay, then he's not a psycho. He's autistic.
I'm
Okay.
trying to.
He is a psycho. All autistics are psychos.
I knew there was something off about him. I could never put my finger on
Yeah.
it. Had I known that all along, I would never have anything to like.
I know, it explains so much.
It does.
Once he said it, I was like,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
I was trying to look out where the interview was held, but it was a Skype interview with him and some lady, and they were talking about, I think Biden wants to pass like a huge bill for infrastructure, right? And wants to put money towards that. And Elon's stance on it was, look, we already have a $7 trillion deficit. We don't need to continuously like put more money into the red and all this other shit. But he was so blatantly like, it's a fucking stupid idea. But I thought he took a lot of
I don't know.
I thought he took a lot of money from the government. Doesn't he like get subsidized for a lot of his stuff that he does?
I don't know.
Ah, shit. What kind of fanboy are you?
I'm a blindly loving fanboy. Look at him. He's funny sometimes.
Oh God! Look, I could never figure out why he never laughed.
Yeah.
I mean, you just made him make sense to me completely. All right, I'm back to loving him. Oh, it's perfect.
But yeah, I think it's still up for debate. Like how far we go with that. I think there's a lot that needs to be fixed other than, getting to Mars and shit. Maybe we should worry about the things here. But I mean, if somebody has to do it though, right? Because like if we always hold off until everything's fixed, nothing will ever get done because nothing's ever going to get fixed.
My God, there's so many fucking people on the planet. People can work on fixing stuff down here and work on going to Mars at the same time. And if we can't multitask, then we don't need to fix the shit here. We just need to ride this bitch till the wheels fall off.
I think that's what we're doing.
Yes,
we're
it does
doing
seem
that.
like that's what we're doing.
And then sell those shitty wheels to the next civilization.
For a pretty penny.
Yes, because we always go back to saying that China's going to take over and shit like that. But Chinese people, we watched a whole interview with these people that they were interviewing on the street and stuff. And they were like, well, we've just been this way since we were born. So it doesn't bug us that they watch everything we do. It doesn't bug us that they tell us what we can and can't do, give us a credit score, not a credit score, but a social scoring thing and all that. And they don't mind the communistic aspect of it. They're just like, whatever.
Yeah. Oh, yes. What's happening in this
I
house?
don't know. I think there's a ghost at this point because something has been going on with the sound.
Yeah.
Divert attention from me.
Yeah.
I'm the ghost.
Oh, that's believable.
Yo, we're going to catch something like that for sure.
Well, I always say I only hear it back here in the bathroom. I only hear shit back here, and it's a lot.
I wonder what kind of ghost would
You
be
only
in
hear
this home.
shit in the bathroom.
I wonder what kind of ghost it would be. I think I'm gonna disassemble the button. Better get any use. But yeah, I don't know if a ghost would really give a shit about this. Like, what happened here where a ghost would be like,
I don't know, but we have both heard something say hello to us. So.
Well, you see, there are two schools of thought on ghosts here.
Give me the first one.
The first one is that they're conscious entities that use their power to go about and do what they want. But then there's the other where it's just like mindless energy on a loop.
Yeah.
It could be a mindless loop energy ghost, and it's just going around slapping a pipe every few days.
We need to get Tingle back out here.
Yeah.
And have him explore our house because it's getting to be more frequent that I notice things.
What if it's a spirit like coming to, remember the story from the good old Bible days where they're like, well, the angel come down in my dreams or whatever and told me I was going to have this baby without having a dick inside me.
Yeah.
Remember that story?
Yeah.
Okay. That story. What if right now there's a congregation of ghosts coming into this house and they're like, we're meant to do something, but the ghosts are going to tell us and set down this plan and be like, this is what you need to do. How fucking crazy would that be that a supposed angel come down and spoke to somebody like me, where I'm like, fuck the Bible at this point, and like, fuck those stories. Yeah. Can you imagine? I would be blown away.
Yeah.
I think I would shit
awesome,
my pants.
Yeah. Have you had any dreams lately?
Not like that, no. I mean, I have dreams.
Well, what do you got?
Nothing. Oh, remember, I walked out of the house. I walked out of the house at one
Continue
time.
with the wild speculation.
And I have a video of something that was running across the thing.
That's what I was about to bring up.
Yeah, and I mean, it fucking scared. affected me so much, man. I came back in the house. I was flushed. I had tears in my eyes. It was so real that I was like, something had to be there.
Really?
Like we have a video of it. Like he said he heard footsteps running towards him so loud he turned around because he thought someone was coming at him.
Damn.
And there was nothing there, but on our camera you can see a thing go and fly away.
Damn.
Hell yeah.
And you can see I follow the noise of the fuzzy
being.
thing, whatever.
That sounds like it might be some cryptozoology stuff.
I think so.
Couldn't be a ghost. Gotta be the cryptids.
Cryptid.
No, I definitely, there's for sure something here. Might not always be around. It doesn't always seem to be active, but
Right.
it's getting to be more and more frequent that I notice things.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be crazy, but I don't know how you like summon those things. You would probably know that.
I don't wanna
How you
I'm
summon
working
it.
on it.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem to be
Get back
like
with me.
aggressive. It's never done anything rude. It has said hi, but I
You
mean,
mean like literally?
yeah, it said hello. We both heard it. We both looked at each other, and it said fucking hello.
Hell yeah. All right.
Some weird shit, man.
Yeah.
Okay, that's phone.
It has to be, right? All right, cool.
I don't
I don't know. I still don't know.
I get shit like that, like with my guitar.
It'll be like, brum, 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 brum. Yeah. Yeah. That's the only other thing, too, is because radio waves stay in our atmosphere for quite a long time. They've had cases before where a radio wave will be picked up and it was from like a broadcast, 50 years prior, right? And it's happened because those radio waves continuously bounce back and forth. And they may be like just bullshit ass, it's not like completely clear, but they can tell, like, I think one of them was from a baseball game in the 1930s or 40s, whatever it was. And that's
Field of Dreams, baby.
I kind of view that as something that would happen in this case because we have something recording, we have a computer going and cameras. Like, you're bound to pick up some interference somewhere. And how do you differentiate, interference from audio, just regular ass audio, to like this is a ghost? Like, I know they use the EF meters and shit like that, or EV meters, but how can you tell that that's not, because there's so many radio waves in the air at this point, how can you tell that it's like a ghost or an entity?
I don't know.
How do we know ghosts and
That's why
entities
we need Bobby
aren't,
Tingle.
how do we know they aren't radio waves that are just stuck and concentrated in certain areas due to our atmospheric
It very
pressure?
well could be.
Yeah, maybe they are.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if we're
I
energy,
think you're right.
if our soul and being is energy, what if when we die, sometimes our energies get stuck in the concentration of radio waves?
The
Yeah.
loop ghost.
Yeah, so it's not technically a ghost, but it kind of
But it is a ghost.
Yeah.
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 We be
Think
looping.
about that.
But then
Kind of like that idea.
it's like that kind of crap is like you can't prove it,
Right.
but you can't disprove it.
I guess you'd have to have the thing that the Ghostbusters use. You'd have to be able to capture the fucking energy at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be like on Supernatural, you get
Yes.
stuff, you do the things. But okay, so all of this kind of goes into like the some of the general ideas of like the Tom DeLonge book I've been reading, which I'm almost done.
Ooh.
And I got book 2 in the mail, I think yesterday.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
So I'm getting there. But it's like there came a time, like back in the day, before science was like this big major thing, scientific pursuits and like spiritual, supernatural kind of stuff was all just one big school of thought. Like everything was just a pool of what we know and maybe know and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And only recently has it become so differentiated.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
with the idea of like where you're going with the ghosts and stuff and like the energy and things like that, back in the day, it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility to try to find like a cohesive kind of middle of the road kind of hand joining
I kind of like that
of
idea.
the thoughts instead of just like, oh, well, we can't measure it with our tools,
Right.
so it's probably nothing.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And that thought kind of irritates me.
Yeah.
'Cause they're like, oh, if we can't measure it and we can't do this.
Oh, right.
And
yeah.
like, what about your fucking theories that Einstein had that couldn't be proven for decades.
Absolutely.
And then they
Yes.
were. Seeing that.
But yeah, they're like, oh.
Yeah.
That's why I feel like we get stuck in certain areas. And that's something that Elon brought up. Like, we regulate and we want...
Get off his nuts.
I know. And we want so much proof and so much, just physical, the aspect of it, the science of it, or the stuff that you can see. Mm-hmm. And in reality, there's such a metaphysical environment that, like you said, Einstein thinking outside the box got us to where we are now.
Yeah.
We need people who don't just look at the numbers and they mesh ideals of supernatural and, metaphysical.
Dude. And I don't want to crap on Neil deGrasse Tyson, but I kind of want to crap on him.
Yeah.
Because
Bring it.
It's weird because there's such a I don't know, opposite ends of the spectrum where it's like, this man is absolutely brilliant. Science will save us, and
then doesn't believe anything past what he can see.
Anything other than what we can prove 100% right now.
Oh, he does.
Right.
Doesn't exist. And I mean, there's a place for that. It's quite helpful.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it seems silly to shut yourself down.
I wonder if just in public he says that because he doesn't want anything attached to him. So just for safety.
I can see it.
Yeah,
So
I
they
only
don't
believe
think
in
he's
what
crazy.
I
Plus,
can
I
see.
mean, I think at his core, he's just a science teacher.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, here, go with this. It's like if somebody's a preacher, they're like, oh, the word of God is everything. And if it goes against the word of God, even if it's science, he's like, no, that's that woo-woo science.
Woo-woo.
So, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, though.
Yeah, you're not shitting on him. That's a true fact. I've never liked that either because outside of the realm of what you can see and stuff, I think, to me, it's been proven that there's things in our subconscious that can't be explained they've truly been tested and whatever, like with the guy I'm reading. Oh shit! I forgot the book, but the one that's on the nightstand.
I know. I can't think.
But he wrote the book about astral projection and the way to do that and shit. And it's just, to me, he proved it because of his own findings and doing it. You couldn't measure it with a calculator or a meter or whatever. Right. But I mean, there was instances where it was fucking spot on, and people said that they saw the same thing and they were nowhere near each other on opposite sides of the world. Some things are just not that good of a coincidence. Some things are
there's a place for anecdotal information when it's all the same across the board. All these people have experienced the same thing. There's validity to it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Even if we can't measure it, we can't say for a fact this is what's happening. It's still occurring to a lot of people.
Like with aliens.
Yes, absolutely.
So you can't say for certain that alien abduction happens, but with it happening to so many fucking people, maybe there's something to it.
Yeah, there's definitely something to it.
Sarah, what was that thing we were watching the other day
Don't
about?
You yell at me.
It was the moon, and there were lights from the moon, that bright green light and the bright white light.
It was lunar something projections.
They've been measuring these fucking lights that are just coming from the moon, and of course it's they calculate it to well, there are volcanic eruptions that are going on. Are there a meteor strike? Whatever.
Green moon spew.
Yeah,
Even though
some of them are fucking. One lasted for 30 minutes to an hour and shit. Just it was they can't explain what it does or what it is.
We're told that there's not any kind of volcanic activity at all on the moon. It hasn't been for millions and millions of years.
Yeah.
But there's also very well documented cases of this happening over and over and over again. I mean, even in the last 50 years.
They say it probably happens a lot more, but not enough people watch it to see the lights and stuff like that. We're not constantly watching the moon anymore like we used to.
Right.
Now we're looking beyond that. And it happens all the time. They see that, and there's a lot of strange cases. So it makes you wonder. I know that he said that in that video. He said that and I don't know if you know about it or not, but that they're planning trips to the moon so that they can mine the minerals and metals and shit from the moon. Do you think we really need to fuck up another part of our environment?
Yes.
I know.
Yes. Just mine it all.
And we've raped Africa.
Yeah.
So let's go to the
take
moon.
it to the moon.
Fuck them Africans. Let's take it to the Martians.
I think if we
on
start
the moon.
if we start fucking with other planetary objects
Martians.
that are outside of our world that we can fuck up and then kill ourselves, I think that's when aliens will just like when there was a vast amount of sightings after like the first atomic bomb went off. After they did Trinity, they started seeing these
They're
UFOs.
like, these idiots are doing some
Yeah.
shit. We gotta go.
And we were changing the fabric of space time with atomic weapons because I think it leads over to that. There's more steps after the atomic weapons to where you can start traveling interstellarly.
Right.
I mean, there's
But-
evidence to suggest that they opened up a portal to the Black Lodge with that.
Oh, is there?
Is there
I mean, it's in season 3 of Twin Peaks. Oh. How much more evidence you need?
what? I mean, that wouldn't surprise me in that. I mean, to a certain degree, that we didn't change something as far as our timeline or somebody else's timeline with the amount of fucking atomic weapons we blew up.
Right.
But I think it just begs the question, like, I think if we start fucking with other planetary objects, that aliens will finally present themselves and bitch slap the fuck out of us.
Yeah. For
Be like,
sure.
you gotta quit doing this shit. Like,
So
you're
They're
gonna
like,
fuck
we're
up these other
typically
planets.
peaceful, but y'all are doing some shit.
See, this all depends on what you think aliens are.
I don't know what I think.
Yeah, what do you
aliens
think
are.
aliens are? Like, because
Like
you know,
good versus evil.
there's the whole. Well, I mean, there's the whole like Sumerian stuff where people are like, "Oh, the aliens made us, and they set us on our way," and then other people are like, "Aliens are just an independently occurring kind of thing that have interest in us because we're universal neighbors or whatever."
Right.
So I mean,
latter.
if it, okay,
In that instance, I would choose the latter.
all right, then how do you suppose they knew about us?
I don't know. Maybe because I don't believe that we're like the most technically advanced civilization that's ever been on the planet Earth. I think there's been a lot of us.
Yeah.
Like, there's been a
Right.
lot of whole timelines of the same exact thing. You know
Right.
what I mean? Because there's only a certain amount that we can view and see in our past history, and beyond that, we're like, it doesn't exist. In reality, I think that it's an infinite amount of rises and fall of a whole human race. So even think like our earliest is what, ancient Sumerians and shit,
Oldest
like
recorded.
Anunnaki and shit.
Yeah.
Oldest recorded. So let's just say from that timeline to now is the process that we're going. Like, how many of those have happened? I'm not talking like, oh, the Anunnaki happened, and then the Egyptians, and then those types of rise and falls. I'm talking about a whole timeline full
Right.
of
Well,
rise.
those sorts of things, I feel like if we look at the Sumerians as a beginning point, there hasn't been nearly enough time, like, based on what we've found, like,
Yeah.
for rises and falls to happen as much as I'd like to believe.
Right.
So, but I mean, to make the argument that it's happened a time or two before, yeah, I can get behind that,
Right.
but only to
Yeah.
a degree,
Maybe like 7 times.
maybe. But also,
like
I mean, because
100.
I watched a thing yesterday about Mariana Trench or whatnot, you know, and how fucking deep that shit is, and then
Man, that
thought-
shit's so deep.
Oh, yeah, we
I
haven't.
don't know.
Yeah.
but then if you think, like, with as deep as that is, let's say hypothetically that the Earth hasn't always had as much water as it does now. So like with the water levels rising and shit, it could be covering a lot of stuff. And like with our excavations of like past cultures and stuff, it only goes so deep.
Right.
Oh yeah.
And with the idea that we have, like, we can go so deep down, we have the layers that represent the different eras and shit, and we have that. Like, what if you go, like, 5 miles down?
and then excavate
and-
all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, yeah. 5 miles down, which is, I don't even know how far
That's
back
not
that
even-
would be.
That
But-
ain't even a lot in the timeline of the Earth, though. I don't feel so. Go even deeper.
Yeah.
Like
So, I mean, yeah, there may be some wild-ass shit down there, but fuck if I know, man.
I know.
There is.
Well, see, and I think the
I want to
reason
believe.
Yes.
the reason why we believe that it's just these, they've made these stone buildings and all this is archaic and all that, because I don't feel like, I think that natural things like that, like rock and limestone and things like that, and of course like iron and stuff that they've used, kind of stay around. But other than that, like if you made like this, like a digital thing or electronics, I don't think can stand the test of time when the earth reclaims
No,
people.
it's just gonna break down.
Yeah, but natural things like rocks and stuff, they break down to a certain extent, but not to the degree as these. That's why we don't find like cell phones
Right.
in old
Well,
caverns and shit.
Really, I mean,
That'd be awesome.
the main thing that they're like, oh, styrofoam. Do you know how long it takes styrofoam to break down? Yeah, but it eventually fucking does.
Yeah,
And if styrofoam takes forever to break down, then think about all the shit that was made more naturally. That's already broken down.
yeah.
So I mean, God damn it! Now I'm thinking we could dig down 5 miles, and it wouldn't matter. We just see dirt.
Well, yeah. No, I think, and that's a lot of where oil comes from, is like the breakdown of organic material that get into these pockets in the earth, and they break down. So after a long period of time, and they always say like fossil fuels because it's organic material, but what if it's a mix and combination of all these things that we've created over the lifetimes, and they've created in little pockets underneath the oil, It just, I don't know, I just don't feel like, I think it's very conceited and egotistical to think that like we have the timeline figured out and this is how it happened, and then Sumerians and Egyptians and us and them Greeks and all that shit, like you don't know the fucking timeline, because even nobody even agrees on the timeline that's set down for us, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So much dissent. Get them.
I don't feel like they. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't think we know.
feel
I
you.
think we act like we know things, but we don't fucking know.
Indeed. Because it's easier to sell things to people when you claim to have all the answers.
Right.
Yeah, dude.
I could tell you where we came from. I could tell you how to fix your things.
Yes.
I can tell you what happiness is.
Happiness. I can give you the key.
Why do you only hate it when I hit the hype button?
Oh, I hate the hype button all the time, but it's easier to look at you and be like, you dumb.
Yeah, he could threaten to leave you. He could just make me leave.
He's not leaving me.
Ah,
I
you
wouldn't
stuck.
be so sure. Anyways, do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just feel like we're a conceited fucking group of people.
I'll
that
tell you
think
what
we
I
know.
want.
What do you want?
I want to know more about the Dogon people.
Dogon people. Where are we
Yeah.
going?
Dogon.
What's
I
that?
don't know.
You don't know.
Well,
I
here.
don't know. I
I've
need to know
seen
more
the
about
word.
them. But well, it's because like I know that like they're an old timey race or whatever, civilization, if you will. But in Lost, there's a character named Dogon, and all that shit has relevance to things that have happened. So I feel like I need to dig a little deeper
Yeah,
into him.
definitely. See if you can find some books.
Maybe I'm not the essential Dogon, right?
Dogon.
Dogon Zaiji, also known as Dogon Kaijin.
They're
Yeah.
a group of people.
Were they
have,
like,
beliefs and rituals and shit
yeah, kind of like across like the Buddhist faith, maybe?
in that general area? I think at
Okay.
least geographically.
Leading Japanese. Oh, okay. So Dogon was leading Japanese Buddhists during the Kamakura period, which is 1192 to 1333. He introduced Zen to Japan in the form of Soto school. Soto school. Soto Tong.
Man, I learned
Now
yesterday
you know
that,
everything.
Everything.
Oh, you need to know.
I learned yesterday that during the time of samurais and shit, like they pretty much had like sex slaves and stuff. Like they didn't have their own, but you know, like the whores,
Communal sex slaves.
They
Yeah.
worked like in the brothels or whatever, and it was like a high praise if one of the whores gave you like her finger.
Really?
Like
Yeah.
chopped her finger off and gave it to you?
Yeah,
Whoa.
I don't think I would ever do that.
I wouldn't either, but I would happily accept it.
Just put it on a necklace and wear it.
Drill
How
a hole
weird.
through it.
You know, and you think about all the crazy beliefs and rituals that have happened across the timeline of us and what we've believed,
Yeah.
you know, brings rain or brings sunshine or
Now-
stops storms and catastrophic events and shit. Like, we used to sacrifice virgins.
Would I give someone my finger because they gave me the good dick? Or, I mean, is it based on, I'm just
maybe
thinking communal
they-
horrors, or is
Yeah.
it because
No.
I love them, because they treat me well?
Not even
Like,
that.
I would assume it would be along the lines of they treat you well and they lay good pipe and
Okay.
they're like loyal.
Okay.
to
I thought
you
it would be
as a
like
customer. Yeah.
So
if
it's
the
like the
whore
original
believed
marriage.
if the whore believed that they were a good like hunter, provider, leader, king, blah blah blah, then they were like, you deserve to have my finger.
Well,
I,
I mean,
don't
that
think
could-
it has nothing
yeah,
to do.
they could all tie
maybe
into
it's
that.
all that.
Who
Yeah.
knows what whore's think and why?
Keep this
I
in
wish.
your ass.
Keep this in your butt.
I'll keep it in my ass forever.
Yeah, it makes me wonder, man. I wouldn't give my finger up for a lot of things. Maybe, yeah, a lot of things. I wouldn't.
I
give-
would never have given my finger to anyone. I love you more than anything in the world, and I'm not giving you my finger.
I don't want you.
But you got 10.
I
you
would
don't
give the
need
whore's
mine.
finger back because it has a lot of different dick juice on it.
Got that dick juice.
I don't want your finger, lady. It probably has something. And then back then they didn't wash their hands. They didn't know about, you know, all that shit. So the finger probably had gangrene on it anyways.
Chlamydia and gangrene.
Yeah.
It's a good gift, man.
It's crazy.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Shit. Yeah, but no, he created the Zen school. He introduced Zen Buddhism. Whatever. I just said it.
Yes.
I just
man.
fucking said it. I was trying to fucking just like whatever. It's like the Soto school of Zen. Yeah. The founder of Soto Zen is pretty much what it is.
Okay.
And he introduced it to Japan. Japan.
It's very nice. of
And
him.
there was
then-
also a period of time where if Japanese people got converted to Christianity, they would be like tortured and killed.
Well,
They
I
should
think
do
that,
that
yeah,
still.
they do that a lot to people, don't they? Like
They did that like last week.
I know that. I think. When do you think it was? I don't know, because is Christianity the only religion that doesn't kill non-believers? Like across the board, other religions have killed their own believers if they believed in Christianity. But has Christianity itself ever been like, you can't be a Buddhist? Like, we're gonna kill you if you fucking go to Buddhist faith or whatever. Because, like,
I don't
you know,
know.
like the Crusades, I don't know what that was based on. But I guess that was,
Yeah, I mean they did kind of kill a
Yeah.
bunch of people. Yeah.
Yeah.
oh, so I guess we've
Well,
all
there
done
you
it.
go. Yeah.
Everybody be killing people.
I don't know. I mean, have the Jews killed a bunch of people?
Ooh, that one I
No,
don't
they're
know.
too sweet. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've never heard of the Jews killing anyone.
No.
I mean, like as a collective. I'm
Right.
sure some Jew has killed someone in the past. But
I'm sure there's at least one murdering Jew out there.
Maybe we should find the only religion that hasn't murdered in the sake of their faith.
Oh, that one.
Yep, that's it.
That's it. That's the one.
I forget what it's called, but that dude Rainn Wilson, like the Office guy.
Oh, yeah.
He does it. Like they won't even kill bugs.
Really?
Yeah.
I know.
Baha'i? Is that what it is?
I don't know. That sounds maybe right.
I'll tell you.
Yeah, you tell us.
But yeah, I think you should find like that group of people, and that's probably the only religion that matters. Now, I'm not going to say that they're right, but it matters because they didn't kill people in the name of their faith.
Yeah, but I mean, if you don't kill somebody in the name of your faith, do you really believe it?
That's right.
Uh,
Making the ultimate sacrifice.
Oh,
Someone else's
I
life.
don't know if I know how to pronounce this, but it's the Baha'i faith. Baha'i.
Baha'i.
Baha'i. Is that how you say it?
That's how I fucking say it.
Oh,
I don't
you
care
said
the
you didn't know
internet
what it was
says.
called.
I wasn't positive. Clearly,
Baha'i.
I knew something.
Baha'i. Okay,
But yeah, yeah.
but you know,
Don't cool.
Gentle souls.
Go
Yeah.
right. He's a weird dude. I listened to an interview with him, and he
Yeah.
was a very interesting cat. I highly recommend watching an interview with him.
Nice.
I'll
Guess
see if I
have
can
to.
find the one. It was probably on Dr. Drew.
Board certified.
So we were supposed to talk about the kid that shot up the school and his parents being charged.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were supposed to talk about that, but I canceled last week. So y'all want to talk
So we
about it
didn't.
this week?
Yeah.
You want to tell us about it?
Yeah.
I
So,
intended to do a little more research, but,
well, we can just go off the cuff and see how it goes.
Yeah.
And then if either one of us feels like, or any of us, I guess, feels like reading about more of it, we can. So I don't remember, was it in Michigan that
Yes.
kid shot up the school? And we found
Michigan.
out after Michigan found out afterwards that his parents, the kid was not old enough to own a weapon. They had bought him a weapon 3 days prior to the school shooting. The school had informed the parents that he was expressing like warning signs of, I guess, a school shooter, because he was like drawing violent things and talking about, just ending it and all this type
All
of
that
shit.
good shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he shows up.
Weren't they there for like a meeting with the principal like that day?
Yes,
Yeah.
that day. Yeah. They said that whenever they met with the parents that he already had the gun in the school.
Yeah.
So, and then he shot up some people. And
Do you know how many people like he killed?
I want to say 4.
I was thinking 5, so yeah.
I think he injured a few more,
Yeah.
but,
So the point of it all is, do you feel that the parents are to blame in this instance?
Oh, well,
Should they have charges against them?
yeah, it was like they
Yeah.
definitely got charges against him.
Yeah.
So, but
The real
don't
question
know.
is, does it fall on this is the real question. Do we need better gun rights or gun laws, or do we need better do we need to fix the system in which we work?
well, I think a big part of that comes down to the idea of, do we need better murder laws to stop murders?
No one, if someone wants to murder someone, they don't give a fuck.
Precisely.
About the,
So with having the
got
stricter gun stuff, it's just a matter of like, I want retribution. Okay, we can legally give it to him.
yeah. Yeah.
It's not
Right.
going to prevent or anything as
It
it pertains
might.
to atrocity.
I mean, if you look at other countries that don't allow guns and obviously have like strict gun laws, I mean, they don't have this problem.
Just like in Japan or China, when that guy showed up with a knife at the elementary school and just started stabbing kids instead of shooting them.
yeah, but does it happen every fucking week?
No!
Exactly.
Because it's a cultural thing in America. And
Is
it's
it?
not America without school shootings.
Yes,
You know,
but that's
shit.
the America
But I
I
think
want to
it's
live in.
but I think it me personally, I just believe that it speaks more to the stressors and the bullshit in society
Oh,
rather than
That's what
the
I said.
laws themselves.
we were
because-
both like, huh?
Because I mean,
I totally agree.
America, I think, is the most, I don't want to say polarized nation, but I mean, we have it the best. Well, we're trash.
Dude,
I feel like most people, like in Poland or like Germany, they're not like, we're the best country in the world. And then the other half is like, fuck this, we're oppressed. And
yeah.
Right.
so, it's kind of like we're crybaby teenagers, but we have our own Rolls Royce and a mansion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and with the, I guess, systemic kind of crap, we'll just say for simplistic, where like the dude for Kellogg's or whatever can make 11 million in a year, but they're going to fire all the union people
Yeah.
because of the shit. And it's like we have these ideals and stuff, and there's still the bullshit kind of political red tape and all this other stuff, which kind of leads to that kind of stuff. And I mean, I know it's like, oh, it's a school shooting. It has nothing to do with politics and stuff. But that kind of ties in with the general state of things in general.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And
with the parents, it's like, is it a matter of sticking it to them because of the law, or are they trying to find ways within the law to stick it to them because they want to?
Yeah.
And my understanding of the article that you sent, it's not currently in Michigan law
Oh.
to where they could find them guilty.
Right.
But I also feel like there was a thing where it said within the legal system of Michigan, if a parent gets a gun for a kid, they have to like it's supposed to be supervised
yes.
with the use of that.
That's what we brought that up. Yeah.
So like for the grounds of sticking it to them for neglect in that sense,
Right.
I could see it.
Yeah.
But
That's, we brought that up with it's supposed to be supervised. 'Cause, I mean, there's kids all over the United States who have weapons who are too young. The point is having it properly stored. You don't have a key to it. You don't know the code.
Yeah.
You can handle it when I'm with you, and then it's put up until we're out shooting again. And that's how it should be. But apparently they didn't have it properly stored because this kid walked into fucking school with it.
yeah. And like who was the lady? Was she like the
I don't know. That's what I was trying to
she
find
was like,
out.
I
She was
wasn't going to
maybe-
do anything, but then this bitch was blasting on social media.
Maybe she was the district attorney.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll go with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And because I mean, it kind of rubs me the wrong way that it could have
Yeah,
just
she
been the
said
article
we
though.
were gonna just. I know that's what, and I never read another one. I've done
Right?
nothing but talk about it since.
I know. Based on this one article.
Yeah.
Fuck that lady. She had an axe to grind.
It definitely did seem like she was gonna let it pass, and then was like, "Oh no, this lady's being a cunt, so let's stick it to her."
It's like if somebody in the parking lot cuts you off, like I was gonna let it slide, but that bitch hung out the window.
Yeah. Hell yes, that's what we call revenge.
So yeah. And then with the idea of justice is blind, that doesn't sound like blind justice.
Yeah.
That sounds like an axe to grind. Look, I'm mad at this bitch, so I'm going to use the law to stick it to her.
Hell yes, that's
And-
exactly.
And while it's like, you could make the argument that it's like, oh, that's how our judicial system works.
Yeah.
That just adds fuel to the fire
Yeah.
of people thinking, well, this is trash. I'm going to shoot my way out.
Yeah. No shit. Yeah.
But
I
then
agree.
the kids, they're just pussies. They need to all watch Friday.
I know, dude.
They need to bring that in on movie day.
They need
Well,
to bring bullying back. Let
the-
people just kick each other's ass.
I know that people always bring up the fact that, and it's sad now that we're trying to like start the conversation because it's always been oppressed people in ghettos and in lower income neighborhoods and shit like that. And we view it as the majority being African American or minorities, and the fact that we oppress them so much that it leads to crime, violence, drugs, stuff like that. Now it's affecting a privileged group of people that are also feeling the pain of the broken system that we're a part of.
It's like the
so you
opiate
have
epidemic.
you have well-off people now. The majority of them are school shooters are white
all
and male.
are.
I've never seen a non-white school
The,
shooter.
the tech guy or Virginia
No.
Tech guy and shit like that. He wasn't.
Virginia Tech isn't a school.
But what I'm getting at is now you're having a majority of white and they're male, and then you have a growing number of suicides in children, white and generally male, stuff like that. You've had a lot of females as well, and that stems from like their relationships or whatever. But I feel like a lot of things are going untreated. The system sucks dick. The parents within that system suck dick because they're just trying to make it work, and then their trauma, spills over to the child, and then the child feels worthless and stuff like that. It's sad that now the conversation is being brought up, but I think it's more a conversation of the entire system to which we work inside of than saying gun laws. That's just, like you said, it's goofy. Like, you take that out of it, we're going to find another way to harm each other because the system itself is still broken. So eventually this is going to break in a different way.
Well, I mean, I think it's also kind of akin to the war on drugs.
yeah.
So, I mean, there are strict drug laws.
Yeah.
People still do drugs.
Still get them more readily, probably,
Yeah.
than they
I
did
mean,
before.
there wouldn't be like the opioid crisis if drug laws were stricter. Is that the case?
Yeah.
All right.
But no, I agree. And
Yeah, the system's just fucked.
Yeah, I think in our capitalistic society, it breeds violence. It breeds not having enough. It breeds feeling incompetent and weak and whatever, because That's what I was saying before, and I've said it in a different podcast. People, of course, the African American community.
You have a
and
podcast other than this one?
minorities- No,
Nope.
it was before. But minorities, like, they deserve to have their voice heard during, like, the BLM marches and then other civil rights movements stuff. Like, they have every right, far beyond, like, the white people.
Why?
But now we're starting to realize, and we opened up the conversation for this oppression that it's like breeded within the capitalist society. It's the system. But now these privileged higher up, like the privileged white kids are feeling the pressure of that. So you see how fucking I guess stringent it's getting. Like, it's getting so fucking tight in America.
Yeah.
And eventually we're all gonna break. Now the well-off people that are wealthy and taken care of, that we viewed as being better than, now they're breaking.
Right.
So if they're breaking, we're fucked. Like, because that was supposed to be your protected community.
Well, I mean, it seems to be like a historical pattern that we're kind of going through right now, to where, like, all of the great societies that have fallen, they were never taken out by outside enemies. They decayed from within.
Yep.
And that's what's happening now.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's like, I don't know, Akira the Dawn puts together a bunch of stuff, and there was this historian type bloke. I think his name was Paul Harvey. He's talking about how our problems aren't new.
Right.
And then talking about like general society, and he's like, when the trees of government bore fruit, the people got fat. When they got fat, they got lazy. When they got lazy, they'd look to the state. They absolved themselves of responsibility, and they turned to the state, and then things got worse. And then the society collapsed on itself. And then there's a thing where it's like, I don't know, like a society like that will last maybe 200 years, and then it starts to decline. Everybody's like, oh, America, we had a bicentennial or whatever.
Yeah.
And our decline is coming, and it's going to be from within. But it's the idea of, like, history repeats itself. Yeah, no shit. But people don't learn from it. And everybody wants their creature comforts over responsibility and carrying their own weight.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got
And then they want to blame the system.
I hate that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's the weak way out. It's like when people are oppressed, and not even like individuals. Like, as an individual, if you're oppressed, find your oppressor, rise above them, and move on. Whenever people like as a collective people use oppression as a thing, it's like, overcome it.
Right. Together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't
Together.
just blame everything on stuff.
It's easier.
I mean, it's
easy to do
definitely
that.
a factor, but
Yeah. Where's the accountability?
You gotta like put in the work to change that. That's like I yell all the time about like the QAnon stuff, and then all this stuff that's being born out of that insurrection shit like that. And in general, people did view that as bad, but when it comes down to it, that's what an entire community of people, black, white, Asian, everybody comes together all in one, and we agree that we need to fix the system ourselves, right? So the people with insurrection, people with BLM, the people, like, everybody get together and let's make sure that our government knows that they're a supervisor. They're not the boss. They're just supposed to coach from the sideline. They're not supposed to rule everything within your life and oppress you and stuff like that. You are on the side. We tell you what's going to make us comfortable, what we want, how we want this to work. That's what a government's supposed to do.
Within that stuff, where it's like the government's supposed to work for us and help society and all this stuff. Whenever groups get taxed and stuff, I think the most previously that it had been was like 20-25%.
Yeah.
And then they started to rise up. Like, nope, we're done with this shit. But America is taxed at like 35-ish%. And here we are.
Yeah. And you just said it before. We try to put on this facade of we're the greatest around and stuff like that. On all accounts, Ian, on all accounts, whether it was healthcare, what workers get paid, the capitalist society, how the people in America feel about it, even your rich communities and billionaires, of how they view it, we are the lowest of everybody. I mean, there are countries on this list that you would never think were ahead of us in like healthcare and job wages and shit that you would never think. But you have McDonald's workers in like Switzerland or Holland making $25 an hour, 28, and their health care is taken care of, and then they have time off, and their life expectancy is boosted 10 to 15%. And it's because like you put it on this facade, but in reality, you're probably more oppressed than the Chinese people get more than you, and you call them a communist society, and maybe they are.
Well, yeah.
And maybe that's bad, but capitalism is no different. They just gave you this facade of comfort and enjoyment, and look at this lavish life with the gasoline we could pop in our car and the AC in the house. They fucking lied to you.
You can
ate it up.
microwave your popcorn.
It's just like I only say the QAnon people, you know what I'm saying, like far right people blaming everything on the fuck. They blame the New York fucking tree burning on Biden's America. Get the fuck out of here and start taking accountability for what the fuck's going on.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna be that old fucking like resentful, mad, angry, fucking trash human when you could fucking like quit fucking complaining about it and do something.
It's like the extreme left blaming everything on the patriarchy and the isms of the world.
It's so goofy, but I think they designed it that way so that we would argue over those little. They don't even matter to the government.
I don't know if they so much designed it that way, but the idea of like America was like the great experiment or whatever.
Yeah.
And we came over and it was like, all right, well, we have a free group of people and they can intermingle. We got the melting pot going on.
Yeah.
Maybe they found out that worked, and now the experiment is psychological.
Yeah, how can we
how
fuck
much
this
pressure
up?
can we
Before they break.
You can't make a diamond without some pressure.
Right.
So let's just stress these people the fuck out. And
They're doing a good job. I'll give that to them.
It's
They're
a
doing
solid
great.
plan, though, for real.
But even like I feel it's just baffling the things that we argue about and the things that we separate each other with and all this stuff and generally most of those things are bad. Racism is bad. Oppression is bad. Systemic racism, like all these things that we complain about, bad. But you have to realize, like, healthcare gets canceled all the time. They don't pay for shit. People are struggling. People that have cancer can't get the medication that they need and stuff. And we don't take care of our old and elderly, sick people, shit like that. Like, we are a terrible. And if you talk to the rest of the world, people hate America for that. And Chinese bought into the fucking the facade we built, and now they're even moving away from idolizing, how we do like movie stars and celebrities and stuff. They're moving away from that view of what America was and that lavish lifestyle and more into a moral and comfortable, you know what I mean?
Well, I don't know if I'd call them moral.
Well, you get what I'm saying. Like, if you look, we talked about like their TikTok compared to ours.
Yeah.
They hold up hardworking, moral, military, all that shit.
Right.
Whereas we have nothing but like booty shaking and just idiots on.
They promote more hard work and things of value.
Right.
Whereas here it's that ass and what shoes.
And innovation. And you look at in our society, you'll have like Justin Bieber who's making billions off of fucking making some stupid song, and then you have that scientist that create some fucking thing that cleans up the ocean, and nobody's even heard of the guy. Nobody's even heard of him.
Maybe they should talk to Biebs.
I know.
Speak to the Biebs.
Yeah.
So we hold up these false idols. In reality, we should hold up these, and that's the only reason I say like Elon. I'm like questioning the fact.
Yeah.
Because once somebody gets to that level and people hold him up in this light, is he really what we make him out to be? Or is he just a fucking fake like the rest of them?
No.
Feeding us some fucking lie.
Different example, quick.
Well, it's because like with the idea of the snake oil salesman, and it is Elon, what do you I mean, he's done an ass load.
Right. He has
And
done a lot.
Even if it's not what he planned, I'd like to think that we know that nothing ever goes as planned.
Right.
But he's closer than the rest of us.
Oh, yeah. Well, and he's comfortable going out on a limb and doing crazy shit. Just like Einstein, just like Tesla. They were all fucking weird, and they were willing to look like fools in the end.
Yeah.
As long as they...
And he's looking out for the overall well-being of humanity. And like how we can progress past Earth and all that other stuff. And he wants to give the internet for free to people that can't afford it.
Right.
He's rich as fuck. Whereas Jeff Bezos, I want to go to space and I want to sell everything.
Yeah.
That cocksucker has it coming. But Elon at least means well.
Right. And that's what I try, because let's face it too, the videos that I watch in contrast to all the good that he's done could just be, where you have a fanboy, you have a fucking, somebody who is, there's a huge group of people that are just out to get him because people hate success and innovation and all that.
Definitely.
They want it to stay the same and they're comfortable.
We need a video that does both. Huh?
Yeah.
I
No,
want
it's
timestamp whatever that moment was.
Yeah.
It was like, I'm done. Fuck. I'm not even worried about it anymore.
But yeah, we need someone that makes middle ground videos. Because so many people are just, this is what I think, and I'm only talking about that.
Yeah. It's like we need people to do what journalists used to be required to do.
Yes. Hell yeah, for sure. Maybe that's what we need to start doing.
I feel like for the most part we kind of do.
Well, yes,
But-
I agree. I'm just thinking we need to be more mainstream.
No, that's a part of that video I sent you about being mainstream, and there's not people really genuinely themselves on the internet.
Oh,
Right.
yeah, but that kind of goes to the idea of the lowest common denominator always being a thing culturally. And, I mean, maybe it wasn't always that way, but I feel like at least since advertising took over,
Yeah.
to where it's like, all right, let's maximize the profit ideas and then go from there. But you just have to look
Yeah.
for things.
No
If
one
people
wants
are-
to look. Hand it to me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's like the idea beggars can't be choosers. It's like if you're only going to go with the easiest available anything, you're probably not going to get the best.
Yeah.
You're going to get what works across a maximum grid for the most amount of people.
Yeah.
There you go. You get what you deserve.
yes, yeah.
So fucking seek out a good bookshelf or buy the stupid ass thing from Walmart for $30.
Yeah. Hell yes.
It's up to you, man.
No, I mean, you're completely right. There's I think...
Let's shut it down. Podcast over.
Oh shit. son.
Forever.
Yeah.
I think
for last episode.
I think eventually there'll be so many people that are yearning for true reality and something more to better themselves, and eventually we'll move into that. But until then, we appreciate you listening to...
Oh, I didn't mean shut it down.
you
I want to
just
talk
said
about
calm
wrestling
down.
for a minute.
Oh,
I just wanted to be
shit.
dramatic. That's all.
Him
Dramatic
dramatic.
ass.
Sorry about that. No, before I came over, I watched. I felt nice. I watched a match. I forget what event it was at, but it was like an old timey pay per view, and it was The Undertaker versus
Woo-woo.
Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
And The Undertaker came out first. His music played, but the lights didn't go out because it was like old timey. Back when he was The Undertaker. Everybody's like, "Oh my God, this guy's dead. What's up with him?" So he came out and he did his thing, and then Hulk Hogan's music came on. Everybody lost their shit, and he came out and he was the American hero and all this stuff. But then The Undertaker put it to him,
That's right.
and Hulk Hogan was actually about to win.
Oh really?
But then Ric Flair came down.
Yeah.
And when he came out, I was like, "Oh, what's Ric Flair doing?" So, he got up in his shit and he kind of interfered with the match a little bit. And Hulk Hogan actually he took a tombstone,
Oh shit.
and at that point nobody had ever gotten up from it.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan just immediately popped up.
No way.
Yeah,
Damn, that's awesome. I
it
need
was
to
like the
watch
Undertaker was turned around and he was like, "It's fucking over." And Hulk Hogan gets up and he's
this. Yes.
hitting the Hulkamaniacs with the jazz. And
Everyone's wiling out.
He eventually took a second tombstone
Yeah.
where Ric Flair had put a chair into the ring and he tombstoned him onto the chair.
Oh shit.
It was over.
Yes. That's awesome.
Do you know what year that was?
It was like in the 80s.
We're
that's
gonna go
fucking great.
87.
God, man, I remember. I love the
83.
like 90s version, like young when I was real young watching and shit. And then I'd go back and watch some of my dad's tapes that he had recorded of like the older stuff.
Yeah.
And you remember, like, the cameras were so bad, you'd have the trail of lights.
Yeah.
Like as they were
I
panning
love
and shit.
those.
Oh, dude. I miss that. I don't know. It's just something. I mean, it looks terrible now, but you just could tell the progression of it. Just a cool look.
Yeah.
And I remember watching those and just fucking thinking they were like gods, like these huge guys, just fucking like, you know. Now I see them as, oh, they're just wrestlers. But
Yeah.
back in the day when I was a kid, man.
Because I feel like it was a combination of we were kids, but it was also a matter of it was a show.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they sold it. And there was so much invested in character.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Because, like, I realized that, like, with The Undertaker in particular, he seemed genuinely not natural.
Yeah.
Well, he said that thing that I sent you that he sent me. He said that he used to walk around
Oh, hell yeah.
as the Undertaker because he didn't want anyone to see him out of character.
Right.
They wanted
And I
him to
love
think
that.
this
Right.
guy's fucked.
It's like Paul Bearer came down, you know, he was leading the way and he had the urn.
Yeah.
And, like, every so often during the match, like, The Undertaker, like, Paul Bearer would, like, hold it up, you know, and he would, like, look over at the urn, like, his eyes would roll back in his head, and it was like,
Fuck
this
yeah.
motherfucker's getting power from the urn.
Yes.
I don't have that now, because
They-
everybody's
yeah,
just
no.
like, look how fucking jacked I am.
Uh-huh.
Look
Yeah.
at my sweat.
I'm a good guy.
That's
I'm
what I
a
was gonna
bad
say.
guy.
When you brought up the fact of like their characters and they play what, like, that's the thing I think we lost and I got out of it at whatever age I ended up getting out of it, is because back then, like, you believed these people were who they said they were. Now you're
Yeah.
right. It's all about being beefed up and shit. Remember when The Rock first came out? He wasn't beefy and big and all
Right.
that. But you believed that eyebrow when
Yeah.
that came out.
Oh,
you were
dude.
just
Yeah.
like, this is
Look at this charismatic son of a
Absolutely.
bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It
then,
is
you know, it gets
definitely
all jacked.
different.
I feel like it's like the Attitude Era was simultaneously like the pinnacle and just like,
Like the
the
downfall.
reason that it sucks now.
Yeah.
Because like everybody just wants to be that, like they want the
Ah.
Attitude Era, but without the actual attitude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not genuine.
Which makes no sense to me. I want it to be just like that. I mean, I still get jacked about it whenever I used to. It's been a while since I've consistently watched it. I got to get into
Yeah.
the storylines to be really jacked about it. But, you know, I feel like they kind of just made people too normal is
Yeah.
really what it is.
Everybody
I mean,
just has like a Joe Blow name and
Yeah.
they have no real
Yeah, no.
anything. It's just like, oh yeah, this guy came up through NXT.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Oh,
his way
okay.
up.
So now this motherfucker is from Death Valley. Well, this son of a bitch is from Japan.
Yeah.
He came over just because of his manager.
That's you know, if you were saying walking around, could you imagine like walking around Kane, for instance, and how he dressed, or Gold Dust for that
Dude,
matter, never being out of
Gold Dust was wild.
yeah, man. I do miss those days, and I think that eventually that's why we let out of it. And then I think the last true person I was just like, oh my god, this fucking guy, it was Goldberg. Me and Justin, when he first came out, he had that run of like 150 or something wins.
Yeah.
And me and Justin watched every single one of them, man. And we'd go, wow. And then all of a sudden, like, that shit
He's on
faded.
fire.
So like with Goldberg,
Yeah.
like he kind of fits into that school of wrestler where it's like this is just a fucking dude.
Yeah.
But he was so jacked.
Yes.
And like
Yeah.
like you could see it like in his face that he would wild out and fuck you up.
Yeah, man.
He's
I don't
not
know
just
what
some
we
dude
like.
that just happens to be buff.
Right. He kind of played that character a lot better than
Yeah.
just being buff. And now they don't like, I felt like back in the day, they put their everything within every match, like their heart, their soul, blood, sweat, all that. And now it just seems so watered down. And they're afraid to even do backflips off the top. I don't even think they do that anymore.
Well, I mean, there are some moves within the WWE specifically that are banned.
yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
Which
I know it's for the best, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
fuck, man.
I know some of it makes sense, but it's still upsetting. It really was the golden age. It was fucking perfect.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I'm glad I got to grow up within that time, and I
Oh, I
liked
know.
it when I did.
That dude, Bray Wyatt,
Yeah.
he's cool.
He is cool. I like Bray Wyatt.
Because
Of course,
he has
Roman.
a goddamn story.
Yes.
And, I mean, he's like, you think, oh, Bray Wyatt, that's just a dude with a name. Maybe.
Yeah.
But he's
Got
got a
to
fucking
find
story.
out. Yes.
And then the match, like, with Randy Orton versus Bray Wyatt, like, when he was that fucking dude with the mask.
Yeah.
And he, like, set him on fire and
Hell
shit. It's
yeah.
like, that's wrestling.
Yes. Well, and everything about he's just an oddball. He's odd. And everything that he does is weird. He's not just, which, look, I'm a fan of Cena, but John Cena's just like, I'm a good guy. Like, that's what I was thinking of when I said that. He's just like a good person.
Yeah. But he is like the epitome of a good guy in wrestling. It's like, you can hate on him all you want.
Yeah.
But he's an upstanding moral bloke.
He sure is.
He's like Hulk Hogan used to be.
Yeah.
Before he came out as racist.
Yeah. Right. I feel like even with that, I've watched videos of people not white talking about that, and they're like, just, it was a different time.
I mean, there is truth to that.
Yeah.
Where it's like, it was a different time. But at the same time, it's like, how much of that carried over into the current? Because, I mean, I'll still rip on trannies, but that's not going to age well.
No, definitely not. Well, and I think, too, Kristen sent me a thing with some famous guy. I don't know who he was, but in school, they were talking, what was it? Is it the Niger River?
Niger.
Yeah. And, of course, he made the joke of the N-word, and now someone is online talking shit, and everyone's trying to cancel him because he was in high school and dropped the N-word. Like,
so rough.
I know.
Like, and I don't even know if it's the group that truly should cancel them that do that. I feel like they're like the advocates for their self-proclaimed advocates that are like going above and beyond because they have nothing better. I think the people that it should be mad or that the advocates view as the ones that should get mad, I don't even think they're fucked up about things like that.
Well, and they don't even have any proof of it. Just some dude that may or may not have gone to high school with them has said this, and now everyone's in a big uproar.
Get out of here.
Like, some stuff, you gotta just let it fucking go. Like, who hasn't made a stupid joke that was inappropriate that shouldn't have been said? But at the time, it was acceptable, so we made the stupid joke.
Yeah.
Fucking probably everybody.
I'm saying nobody's perfect.
Yes.
Everybody said dumb shit. And if you've never said dumb shit, you haven't said much.
You haven't done anything in your life. It's, shit happens. Now, he's not walking around, hopefully now, saying some off-the-wall shit, being horrible to people. Like,
I don't even care if people say off-the-wall shit.
Well, I say terrible things.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, as long as at your core you're a good person.
Yeah.
And
I don't give a fuck what you say.
Yeah.
It comes from like a comedic place instead of like a hateful place. And there's a difference. Like,
Well, that's fucking Dave Chappelle. Everyone is on his ass.
Shut the fuck up about that.
Yo, I think this is also what's going on too, and I think that it happens across the board too. You'll watch videos. So if you go on your feed for like the home feed of like Reddit, you'll see that there's all this turmoil, and we're all on the brink of war, and everybody's in this hateful race battle, blah blah blah. Right? You'll see all that. But in general, if you look at the scope around us and of American stuff, we're actually in the best position that we've ever been in the history of ever, right? Yeah. And the thing is, that's what some people theorize, that with that kind of stuff and, war stuff and racist stuff, that it's actually just the news sources that are creating these battles because there is no news to report. That we are creating these, not we, but the news sources.
Yeah, because it gets it gets clicks and shit.
Yeah.
You get people worked up, they're going to do it.
Get rid of the internet.
This kind of makes me think of like, if you go to Reddit or you go to Twitter, everybody's all up in arms about everything. But, if you go to a strip club, you go to another strip club, you're going to think, bitches have their titties out all the time.
Right.
But they don't.
Yeah.
It's a club for titties.
For hateful assholes. And that's a great analogy. It's exactly because people are too focused on that. Too many people live their reality on the internet as well. And then a lot of people get scared and stuff. And that's the same with the far right people that get all fucked up, all up in arms. In reality, it's just because that shit keeps you glued to a screen, and that's what works. But if you look at the world around you and stop looking at the phone or the TV and shit, you realize that it's actually a beautiful world. Now, we do have flaws and the system's broken, but the
beautiful world, but Sacramento and Detroit are real places.
For sure. That's exactly right. But no, that's exactly how it is. I think that theory is absolutely correct. I think news sources at this point have to create these feuds and crimes, stuff like that, so that they can sell stories.
Ooh,
Yeah.
but along those lines, all right. So from because I was thinking like I only complain about social media when I'm on social media,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
but I saw I got a news story from Google.
Oh, shit.
Like that one chick that used to be a dude that's on like a swim team in like Pennsylvania, I
Yeah.
think. And they're like, oh, she's destroying records, and
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, because that's a dude
Yeah.
on your chick team, and it's like I feel like more people need to talk about stuff like that openly, to where it's like women can either quit crying about their records being broken, or they can start to acknowledge that a trans woman is a dude.
Yeah.
Well, then,
Yeah.
like, going and just complain about shit doesn't do anything. Like, why don't you
Oh, I agree. yeah.
practice and try and do better?
Yes, I kind of thought that too, because then women would just rise.
Hell yes. Can you
Yeah, it
imagine?
could be
I know,
stronger
they've
than they
been-
were before.
Yeah.
It's like goldfish only get to the size of their container. So, I
Yes.
mean, women are only
They've only been competing against.
they're
women.
only training to get to the level that's slightly above where women have been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's exactly right.
Oh,
Fuck
which
yeah.
that reminded me of a wrestling thing, because I've been watching a bunch of shit. I watched like there was a
Just obsessed
compilation.
now.
Yes, that's all I live is old wrestling. There was a compilation that Yasmin sent me of Jim Ross. It was he was constantly referring to Triple H as a son of a bitch,
It's awesome.
and but oh no shit.
Watch that.
Fuck, I feel like this is a different one. Either way, I watched that. But then there was one of Kane doing a bunch of choke slams to people, and his is superior to the Undertaker's,
Yeah.
as much as I don't want it to be. But he choke slammed China. And
Awesome.
I feel like it was Jim Ross, but it might have been Lawler. But he was like, she wants to be a man. You treat her like a man.
Yes, God.
And then he choke slammed the shit out of her. That was awesome.
That's
great.
Dude, it's just always been that way, where I mean, in every single sport, even wrestling that's like televised, planned out, it's always men against men, women against men. We have never had to compete with the opposite sex. Now, I remember a dude getting his ass whooped in wrestling, like freestyle wrestling in high school, getting his motherfucking ass whooped by a chick.
Yeah.
Right?
And I'm sure no one wanted
And
to wrestle.
dude, nobody
Right?
wanted to wrestle her because she was super good, right?
Yeah, they don't want to
Yeah.
get beat by a girl.
Yeah.
It'd be like
This dude did.
Yeah.
that one chick that we grew up with, Crystal.
Yes.
Playing basketball.
Yeah, dude.
She'll fuck everybody up.
There was no... That bitch just should have been in the NBA.
I know she
Yeah,
easily could have been. I
Yes.
believe.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, there are women out there that can truly compete against men. And I think Ronda Rousey, when she was begging Money Mayweather to fucking fight, and he
Yeah.
never would. And it's because, let's face it, if you get your ass whooped, nobody wants to get beat by a girl. So they have separated those
Yeah,
lines.
but then if you beat her, nobody wants to be the guy that beat that chick's ass.
No
Right.
shit.
There's no
That's-
winning.
yeah,
Yeah,
because then,
I'm-
oh, well, of course she won, bro. Like, she's a girl.
It's like if you
Yeah.
want to have like a battle of
sword.
intelligence against like a genius 5-year-old,
Mm,
and then you beat him.
yeah, of
That
course.
kid's an idiot.
Yeah.
They're like, what are you talking about? He's 5. Bitch said he was a genius.
Yeah, he's not
Yeah.
that smart. Because
Yeah.
I'm an idiot and I just beat him.
Is he a genius or is he just 5?
Yeah.
So I think that's where, yeah, if we started, now we're blurring that line, and that's probably, it might be a good thing, so that women have to compete at a higher level. I've always felt like women, intellectually speaking and mentally, are better than males anyways.
Well, that's ridiculous. 'Cause
No,
if
it's
that
not.
were true, they would have found a way to outsmart men, and the patriarchy wouldn't be a thing.
We have.
Haven't you?
And the
We
matriarchy is a
just-
shadow matriarchy.
Yeah, dude.
Yes, dude.
Or maybe it's
Come
always
on.
been led by a woman playing the matriarchy, or the patriotic game.
Yeah.
Patriarchic?
Patriarchic game.
It's a stupid word.
Yeah.
Let's
But you get
never
what I'm
say
saying?
it
Like,
again.
they've just been leading the shit
dude
this whole
run
time.
game.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like,
I have kind of considered that, because when you think of every king, it's like their queen is just kind of lurking around. I think you should invade Finland.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
You're
He's
right,
like,
baby. Let's do it.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
fucking
dude.
hate Finland.
I think that they play a bigger role
you know
than we
what's
give
in
them
my
credit for.
heart, girl.
It's,
I'm not going to lead any armies, but I've got my man on lock.
That's right.
it's like that queen in 300, the Spartan queen. I forget the name. Her.
I've never seen it.
Yeah, but her.
I don't like movies.
She was a
Okay.
fucking boss, dude. But as much as like her king was a boss, she was a boss. You know what I mean? And they worked side by side. And then when he was out at war and shit like that, she handled business any way she had to.
Yeah.
And that's what I think women get no credit in that regard, but I don't think they want the credit. I know they're begging for the credit. I don't think they need it.
Yeah. We don't need that shit.
But
The ones who do can go fuck
I
themselves.
think
They're not
does it
leaders.
kind of stem from the idea though that like if you make too much of a stink about how much influence you have, the target is taken from the king and put on the queen.
Yes.
And you must protect
So it's like
the
that
queen.
pussy
Yeah.
ball shit, but it wins games.
Yeah. Fuck
Yeah.
yes. That's exactly. Look, we have figured out life today.
Yeah.
That's
We're
right.
on it.
All right.
Yeah. Wrap that bitch up.
Wrap it up. Wrap it up.
He's a son of a bitch.
Wrap it up.
Everything happening right now is
Yeah,
great.
dude. That was episode 131 of the Wildly Uninteresting podcast.
Bodies
Coming to you.
everywhere.
Coming to you.
I'm very excited.
Yeah, that's Sarah.
Hi.
That's Ian. I'm Adam. We appreciate you making this far. If you could like, share, subscribe, or do whatever, just watch the damn thing. But we appreciate
Just
you making
watch
this
the
far.
damn thing.
And, if you want anything else further from us or make our content better, please put it in the comments so that we know how to better serve you.
Yes.
Skibbity.
Skibbity.
Wildly Uninteresting podcast.